is the Modern Conservative Podcast with John Harvey.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. My name is Jonathan Harvey, and I am the host of the Modern Conservative Podcast. I can be found on tmcpnation.com, tmcpnation.com, where you can hear comments, listen to previous shows, and there are some videos on there as well. YouTube didn't like me that much, and I don't have time to piss around with them, so I was done with them. But I'm thinking about maybe starting up again. Also, this segment will be brought to you by ironsightbc.com, ironsightbc.com. That is spelled IRONSIGHT, bc.com. America's only true conservative coffee brand. One sip of it, and you'll know you're a patriot. Check it out. Hey, I want to talk to you guys about a good friend of mine. Really, no, he's not really. As a matter of fact, I really dislike this guy. We're going to talk about for a second Mr. Robert De Niro. This man makes me vomit. And I hope someday he hears this podcast. He's the epitome of a dumbass. He just doesn't realize it. I was listening to an interview with him today where he was talking about Donald Trump, as he's a racist, he's homophobic, he's xenophobic, he's the Antichrist, he's going to destroy democracy. Who the hell is he talking to? Does he not realize, like a typical Democrat or typical liberal, he's already been president once? And this is the same rhetoric they had stated when he was running previously and when he had won. Guess what? None of that shit happened. None of that happened. And they're stupid enough to do it again. So you got guys like him, like Kamala Harris, guys like Robert De Niro, guys like George Clooney, these useless celebrities. So they figure they can't make a movie to stay on TV. Now they're getting into politics and talk crap on Donald Trump so they can keep themselves relevant in their eyes. To me, they were never relevant. Because you're a celebrity does not make you a scholar of politics. Does not make you a scholar. LeBron James, because you get paid a lot of money to play a kid's game, your opinion means nothing to me. It doesn't make you any smarter. Actually, what it makes it appears to be, that's all that you do know is basketball, because you don't know politics. All you people out there that's going to be pushing this racial, how do I say this without being a dick? For those of you out there that are going to be pushing the racial bullshit this time because Kamala Harris is in the game, let me remind you something. First of all, she's not a nigga. She's Indian. But here's the thing. You people don't think about that. Why do you have to ride on the black half of her? Why don't you ride on the Indian side of her? Let me tell you why. Saying that she's an Indian does not give her influence over the black community. What does give her influence is to say she is black. That's where she gets her influence from. We know she's not all the way black. Hell, she's not all the way real. And I'm so sick and tired of what's going to be happening with the community, the country, when we go back to this race crap. So now we're going to have to play the race game and the gender game. That's where it's going. We're going to have to play the race game and the gender game once again. When it was Joe Biden, it was just the old man game. Who's the oldest? He or Trump? Who's more senile? He or Trump? Who's crazier? Who's ludicrous? He or Trump? But now, the fabric of the election has changed. People like Robert De Niro, who lives in California, people, let me tell you something right now. His world and your world are completely two different worlds. They don't want you to realize that, but they live in two different worlds than you and I. They're on a different level just by being a celebrity. Hence the reason why they're called celebrities. It's status. Now with your celebrity status, let's make the middle class feel like we are one of them. Robert De Niro is not one of us. He is a long ways from being close to one of us. This is the reason why he is on the Bill Maher show or on The View or on these stupid shows that are so liberal that the people that watch the shows and sit in their audience don't use their common sense and say, wait a minute, you guys said the same thing about Donald Trump, in 2016 through 2020. But yet we didn't see this. And you don't ask yourself in the second cycle, why would he do it now when he didn't do it before? This is where people don't think. This is where people don't think. Just like you never thought that Joe Biden was old and senile, and Kamala Harris knew this man was old and senile, but now you liberals are just now finding out about it. Hell, we conservatives, we knew a long time ago. I made the comment in 2020 that he's old and he's senile. Not because he's old, the comments were because he's senile. And you people chose not to see it. Or your CNN, your MSNBC, or your ABC, CBS didn't want you to see it. You don't ask yourself these questions. You don't say to yourself, why are the conservatives pushing so hard that the issue of Joe Biden being old? It's not necessarily because he's old. It's because he was senile. This is what you don't understand. It's because he's senile. Trump is going to be 80-something years old by the time he finishes his term. And if he's in as bad of a shape as Joe Biden at the end of his term or in the middle of his term, hey, 25th Amendment. 25th Amendment. But the problem is with you Republicans, you Democrat, you fail to listen to common sense because it comes from a common sense conservative. And then the leaders of your side will tell you it's misinformation. And then you take that as for granted. Do you understand that is what makes you weak? That makes you weak. That literally makes you a sheep. Because you do not question those that you consider your leader. If your leader tells you it's raining outside and you're looking at him pissing on your back, you will still believe it's raining. This is the problem with the Democrats. Now, look, I'm not even saying that the Republicans are perfect because everybody knows with me, the Republicans are just as bad in some cases. But when I tell you this, when we tell you as a half the country that your leader is old and senile, you fight back against us and tell yourselves that, no, he's not. He's a great old man. This is why our economy is in the condition that it is now. You voted for a man because he was a great old man. He was never great. He's just now an old man. And some people will tell you on your side that he's the best president you guys had in 50 years. I did say you guys, because he's not our president. He's not our president. Our president brought us 4 years of a great economy. Our president did more for the black community than any other president. Our president did prison reform more so than any other president. So if you're a liberal and you're listening to me right now, you should probably check out what I'm saying. because your side is not telling you this. They're not telling you the things that Donald Trump has done, not for just himself, for the American people. Some of you liberals are walking around this country saying that the assassination attempt was staged. What the hell is wrong with you people? Are you really that stupid? And so 3 other people, innocent people, get shot as casualty of the stagement? How ridiculous do you sound? Every one of you who believe this shit that your leaders are telling you deserve a spot on The View. Because they're all batshit crazy, including the Republican on the stage. I don't know what it is with you liberals that your common sense does not exist. I mean, you got Kamala Harris now, who is going to be your presidential candidate right now, which I don't think she has a snowball chance in hell of winning, but she's your nominee. Now, actually, she's not even your nominee. You didn't even have a choice. They just threw her in your face. You didn't have a choice. And you're stupid enough to say, okay, we'll take her. I've seen videos now and memes of, I'm with her. Well, when she go down the shitter, you go with her. Simple as that. When she goes down the shitter, you need to go with her, because we don't need those type of voters who cannot use their common sense in this country. Now, here's another point for you people that are liberals. Now, I wasn't going to get on the liberals today, but since I'm there, I'm just going to stay there. Here's another thing for you liberals to think about. Nobody wanted her in 2020. She was one of the first ones to drop out. She did not have a chance in hell of becoming the president of the United States. Hell, she couldn't even become the nominee. Because you know why? Those that wield the power did not want her. Just like now they want her because it is too late in the game, because Joe Biden did not want to get out of the race. Now they're stuck with her this time. She's not a choice. They are stuck with her right now. Now, what happens at their convention? Who knows what they're going to do? What's down the pipe? They may bring in somebody like Barack Obama as the vice president. I've heard different names, but a lot of names I don't really know. But I will tell you this, you're going to like it, because on your side of the aisle, they tell you what they want you to do, and then you just damn it do it. You just damn it do it without asking any questions. And when the country goes to shit, guess what you do? Just like the last 4 years, it was Donald Trump's fault. And you listen to them say that. Then you say to them, okay, at what point does your economy kick in, Joe Biden? Because we know when Donald Trump was in office, 2016 to 2020, we were rolling like thunder. We were having a good time. We were all making money. Interest rates were down. Car prices was down. Food prices was down. Fuel prices was down. As a matter of fact, Donald Trump never got over $3 a gallon in his term. Never got over $3 a gallon. And it got as low as, I think it was $1.58 a gallon. You haven't seen nothing these past 4 years to come close to that. You haven't seen anything to come close to that as of today. And here's the indication for you people who don't use your common sense in this country and you vote for liberals and presidents who have liberal ideologies. When a president in his last term, in his last year before his re-election, gas prices normally go down. Guess what? That indicates your president is a shitty president. He can't, and you hear a lot of people, well, I've heard some people say, well, you know, the president doesn't control the oil prices. So this is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Your president implement policies that runs the economy. You either make your economy or you break your economy. The things that Joe Biden has done, like, for example, when we were exporting oil when Trump was in office, we were doing pretty damn good. But when Biden came in the office and he did his 34, 35 executive orders, and one of that was he stopped all drilling off of federal reserves and Alaska. You don't use your common sense and connect the dots, because they get right between the connection and tell you that it was a Trump problem. Well, if it was a Trump problem, then prices would have been down, because that was a problem of Trump's that I would love to have again. That's a problem that I would love to have again, because you people have no clue what you're talking about. And I'm so sick and tired of you talking about things. You have no damn clue. You know, back to gas prices. So somebody said to me one time that the president has no control of the oil and gas pricing. That's a damn lie. If you create a shitty economy, then you're going to have shitty fuel prices. And this is what we had, because guess what? We had a shitty economy. And there's a reason why it's called OPEC. Oil, petroleum, exporting countries. Not companies, countries. See, places like Saudi Arabia make a lot of money, if not most of their GDP is from oil. And there's a reason why a lot of them are really wealthy, is because they export oil. But when we were exporting oil to them in other countries, that hurt their market cap. And then we started making money. But you liberals can't figure this out, so you have to have somebody on the conservative side of things to tell you how this really works. But I can tell you until my black ass is blue in the face and become purple, and you still won't believe it. You still won't believe it, because you know why? Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris told you that was misinformation. That is the word of the liberals, misinformation. Here's another word for you: fact check. Use one of your words for your own benefits and fact check what I just said. Fact check yourself. So I'm just so sick and tired of I know what's going to happen in the next few months now. We've got, 3-4 months left before the election? 3.5 months. And the race card is about to come out. You know why? Because the vice president and president nominee to be of the Democratic Party is so-called black. The country is not going to get pissed off because she's Indian if something's said bad about her. They're going to get pissed off because they're going to say, well, because she's black. They don't want her president because she's black. Oh, she's a woman. All of that kind of bullshit has nothing to do with it whatsoever. The fact is, she is a dirty, rotten, filthy human being, and she should not be in politics, and she's a bald-faced liar when it comes to her policies. I remember when Tulsi Gabbard slammed her in the debate. Slammed the living hell out of her for her past records. You liberals, you Democrats, look it up. She's worse than Joe Biden. She is a true liberal. Joe Biden is not a liberal. He's just a dumbass who's playing to the cabal or the deep state in the Democratic Party. Joe Biden is not running anything. I'm still questioning if he's too old to debate in September, if he's too old to continue as president of the United States. Why are they not getting rid of him right now? And let me tell you why they're not going to get rid of him. Because there's still time to manipulate Joe to do whatever they want them to do in the last 6 months. Kamala may not be that user-friendly, but Joe sure the hell is. And if anything goes wrong, Kamala does not want to be the one to be blamed for it. Joe Biden will get the blame. There's a reason why Gavin Newsom didn't run. There's a reason why Michelle Obama didn't run. There's a reason why Gretchen Whitmer didn't run. Nobody wants to get involved with this shit. Liberals, I'm talking to you. There's a reason why they didn't run. They did not want to get this crap all over them. And plus, if they were to run against Donald Trump and lose, now they're known as a loser. They would have taken a loss against Donald Trump. So they don't want to do this. But I tell you this, and Kamala Harris, she's a dummy for doing it as well. If she wants to have a future career, the best thing for that woman is just to ride it out with Joe Biden and then walk away for a little bit, because nobody wants to touch this shitty economy. They know it's a shitty economy. The only people who don't know it is you liberals. You think you're having a great economy. When you hear people like Robert De Niro talking about, we want to bring back the good times. If this is the freaking good times, count me out. And that goes back to my point. He lives in a different world than you and I. He looks at $4 a gallon of gasoline or $7 a gallon of gasoline in California. It's no big deal to him. He's got millions. It's no big deal to him. But they come at you as if it affects them as well. I was listening to Sean Hannity, who's a conservative. I hear him talk about fuel prices and how high gasoline is. And I said to myself, get the hell out of here. You are $65 to $80 million. You don't worry about the gasoline. See, the thing with me, I keep it real. It's that way on both sides of the aisle. You have to use your common sense if you're going to call yourself a voter. And you have to use good common sense. Here's the thing for you people I want you to remember. I want you to think about this really, really, really keenly. If they're doing dirty shit in your face in front of the camera, imagine what they're doing behind the camera. Something you need to always remember. And I say that to the cops I know too. If you're a dirtbag in front of the camera, imagine who you really are behind the camera. And when they're doing it in front of the camera, they realize and they know they have power. They have power. I've heard people call us, conservatives, sovereign citizens. I'm going to be honest with you. The only sovereign citizen I know are politicians and police officers, because the law doesn't pertain to them. We've seen it many, 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 many times. Many, 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 many times. These are the things you have to realize about the country you live in. This is how I know Donald Trump is not a sovereign citizen. Because they're coming after him with every form of the law that they can. All the way down to attempt assassination. That's right, I said it. An attempt assassination. There's no way in hell that 20-year-old kid did what he did by his lonesome. Also, before I get off the show, I want to say this one more time. I want to reiterate this from my last show. This kid gets on the one building that is not protected, and yet the Secret Service is on the floor below him. And they're in the second floor on the building behind him. And no one sees this kid. They had eyes on this kid for an hour before the shots went off at 6/11. But the moment it came time to shoot, they couldn't find him. And those that had him in plain sight wouldn't shoot him. And if you're a liberal out there and you can't use your common sense, because one day it may be your president they're coming after. It may be your parent, your president. It may be your senator. It may be your governor. This is why you have to use common sense with a lot of the shit that's going on nowadays. Because if you don't use common sense, it keeps us divided. And as long as we are divided, not using your common sense will put you at risk. You at risk. Because what if that was Joe Biden or Kamala Harris that day giving a speech? And 3 innocent people was there just watching, and you were one of them. You would want answers as a Democrat. I would want answers as a conservative. Because I also know in life, someday the shoe can be on the other foot. And that's how you have to think about politics. See, when politicians pass bills, they don't pass bills that hurts the left or hurts the right. It hurts everybody. When they screw over the country, they don't screw over the left or they screw over the right. They screw over everybody. When Facebook start banning content that conservatives are putting up, guess what happens? The shoe could be on the other foot, and one day it's you that they're trying to silence. There's no such thing in the United States where there's a border that says half of this country is American, half of this country are traitors. Well, I'll be damned. But I will tell you this. You got to learn to come together and use your common sense. Because we conservatives have told you the difference between a conspiracy and the truth is about 6 months. And you have seen that many a time. Let's go back to COVID. There's a reason why conservatives wouldn't take the jab. Because a lot of us said, common sense says, wait a minute. You mean we're the guinea pigs? And you want us to put that shit in our arms? Are you freaking crazy? And then later on, you found out, guess what? Shots were ineffective. People were getting sick from the shot. People were having cardiomyopathies from the shot and other issues. Those are real facts, people. Real facts that you seem to dismiss because you know why you dismiss? Because you got the shot. You don't want to look at the dark side of it. Because then you will say, I wish I listened to those damn conservatives. What did they know that we didn't know? Those same conservatives are still here today without ever getting a shot. When they tell you ivermectin is a boo-boo, when they tell you hydrochloroquine is a boo-boo, 2 proven drugs, common sense says, oh, 1 minute it was touted some of the best drugs on the planet, and now they're garbage? Common sense, people. Common sense. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I had another great show with you guys. This closed out my week for us podcasting, though it is Thursday. Guys, go to the website, tmcpnation.com. Look up some content, listen to some past and future podcasts. Also go to ironsightbc.com, buy a bag of coffee, support them because, percentage of whatever they take in is donated to Tunnel to Towers. You donate straight through the website. We are conservative and we are about the people, not about the politicians. So you guys have a great weekend. My name is Jonathan Harvey. Love you all. Take care.
This is the Modern Conservative Podcast with John Harvey.